Okay, so this is part 7. And this is going to be the last one. This is going to be the shortest one. It's probably going to be like 3-4 minutes. So every time you feel hungry or you feel full, all these signals come from the brain. There is a center, the satiety center, which is a part of the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is part of the limbic system, which is the oldest part of your brain. Sometimes it's called, stupidly called, the reptilian brain, which is the limbic system, because almost every organism up the food or down the food chain, up the food chain has it. The hypothalamus kind of maintains that homeostasis of food. So a couple of important hormones that you'd have to know: regulate appetite regulating hormones. Ghrelin, it's the one that makes you feel hungry. When if you get the feeling of hunger, that is because of ghrelin. The antagonist for that hormone is leptin. Leptin is the one it's actually produced in the adipose tissue of your cells. So technically, the fatter you are, the more leptin you'll produce. Leptin then impacts the hypothalamus and sends a message of being full. So it's really ironic because we always think that fat people eat a lot. But they do produce more leptin than thin people. The problem now, when we look at obesity, one of the things that people have been most scientific journals talk about is that most obese people have something called a leptin resistance. So when you have a hormone like this, so let's say leptin is in the bloodstream and it's reaching the brain, it's crossing the blood-brain barrier and reaches the brain. There is a receptor in the hypothalamus that it impacts. Now, if the sensitivity of that receptor is lowered, then no matter how much leptin is in the system, you're not going to get the signal of being hungry. So for a person who is obese and it has desensitized leptin, there doesn't matter how much they try not to eat, they're still going to eat because ghrelin is going to actually dominate. So leptin sensitivity is one of the reasons people talk about, one of the reasons people kind of stay obese and become obese and eat a lot more. Because remember, like I said, leptin is produced in adipose tissue. The more adipose tissue you have, adipose tissue is just fat cells. The more adipose tissue you have, the more leptin you'll produce. That is the end. So here are 2 questions. I'm going to expect you guys to answer them and answer them and send them to me. Just put them in bullet points. I don't want you to go into your whole life story. I particularly don't care. If you're an amazing writer, I don't want to know that. Keep short and sweet. You can put it in points. I don't care. Finish it. Send it to me. The first question is about pancreatic hormones. We did talk about 2 pancreatic hormones. Go back in the slides and you'll see when we talked about islets of Langerhans and in that section. So talk about how homeostasis takes place and how it regulates the glucose level. The other one is for one of the hormones you identify the target cells. Basically, both of them are going to be one question, one answer. Put them in points and send them to me. Have fun. Bye.